like, where did they go? I should run my sweatshirt
Yeah, then I fell on that one in my time. Yeah, so they think that that's what the if that's the one.
Drive attention, please. Would all the student athletes please gather around the letter C? All the student athletes would you gather around the letter C? Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to Fairfield. My name is Mike Hopkins. I'll be your MC this evening. To my left are tonight's guest speakers, and behind me are the Coney High School and Middle School student athletes and the Augusta Recreation Youth Sports members, the future stars of Fairfield. At this time, I'd like to introduce the Coney Madrigals, who will be singing the national anthem. We ask everyone to please rise. Gentlemen, remove the caps. for asking me to MC tonight. I've been around for a long time with the pony sports and different events. A lot of you are probably sick of being on the microphone. Reagan wanted a Reagan Little shot for 3 one last time. So had to throw that out for you. At this time, it's my privilege to introduce our guest speakers. Starting off will be the former Augusta City Manager, Bill Burgio.
Only former for about 5 weeks, and it's still taking a little getting used to. And I was asked to say a few words, and I think tonight, for the benefit of all of us, I'm going to keep it to a few words. About 2 years ago, I got a call from Bob Fuller. And he said, Bill, I would really like to do something for the youth of Augusta. Have you got any ideas? And at the time, I was aware that there was a strong effort going on, struggling effort, to do this project right here. And when I described it to Bob, he was all over it. And 2 years later, the result is, because of Bob Fuller, we have this. Now, some of you know Bob's story, but I'll wager that a lot of you don't, and particularly you young folks back there. If you are looking for a role model, if you are looking for something to aspire to, then I don't think you'll find a more impressive or admirable person, strength of character, than Bob Fuller. Bob is a Navy man. He retired after a distinguished career in the Naval Reserve as a captain. That's the equivalent of a full colonel in the other services. He's lived by the military code of honor his entire life. He exemplifies that code in the way he comports himself and in the way he sets an example for the rest of us to follow. I've gotten to know Bob fairly well over these last few years in particular. This is not the only project that we as a community owe thanks to Bob for. You can look at our new hospital, you can look at the YMCA, you can look at the library, and you can look at a lot of things that you can't look at because there's a lot of stuff that goes on very quietly behind the scenes without credit. I've already realized 5 weeks into retirement that I'm really going to miss my job. And the thing I'm going to miss the most about my job is this community spirit and the way that so many people in this community can come together over and over and over again to make great things happen. I'm not going to start naming folks because that's just going to get me in trouble. But you all know who you are, and my wife and I, we've been traveling for the last 5 weeks, and one of the things that we know now as we come across the bridge this afternoon, the Piscataqua River Bridge back into Maine, was that you can travel all you want, but it's a damn good feeling to be back home here, and this is and will be our home. So, thank you, Bob Fuller, for this and for so much else. I consider you a friend and someone I look up to.
Thank you, Mr. Burgio. At this time, we would like to introduce Bob Moore, the Coney Boosters president. Was unable to be here tonight. He's been sick, so he asked me to relay a message. So on behalf of Bob Moore and the Coney All Sports Boosters, we'd like to say thank you to all of you that donated not only money, but your time, and to those who volunteered countless hours as committee members. Without you, the reality of what is Fuller Field would not have happened. Your work in the early stages confirmed that there was a commitment and desire in this community for an artificial turf field. It would be impossible to mention everyone that contributed in one way or another because there are far too many. and it would be easy to leave someone out. However, we'd like to recognize some city staff members that went above and beyond to ensure that Fuller Field was built to the very best that it could be. This is the only field of its kind in the state of Maine. We'd like to thank Gary Ford, Bob LeBrecq, Tyler Pease, Haley Garvin, Earl Kingsbury, and Bruce Chase. At this time, Pony High School Principal Kim Silsby.
My hands aren't working here because I'm so chilly. So good evening. It is with sincere gratitude that I stand here today on this momentous occasion. As I looked out on Fuller Field at Saturday night's game, I was in awe about what was happening in our city, and in particular for our school. The spirit of our school and our community was at an all-time high. What an inspiration it was to see the energy and support for our students. Our students have been so fortunate to have a state-of-the-art high school and now a state-of-the-art sports complex. We think it's ramtastic. My 3 children played Coney sports, and they often talk about the life lessons that they came from on the full field or the pool. Their time with their teammates and their coaches had long-lasting effects on them, much of what these students probably would say as well. They learned grit, dedication to a group of people other than themselves. They learned setting a goal and working hard to reach it. They learned communication skills. My girls talk about NBA, the next best action. Or when they get stressed, they use tapping as a strategy to move forward. Finally, they were held accountable and pushed further than they thought they could go. So many lessons that they've had for their future. Our deepest gratitude and thanks to Mr. Fuller for making this sports complex happen so that so many students can learn the amazing things that we learn from sports. His generosity is truly inspiring, and on behalf of the students and the Augusta School Department, we say thank you. I said in the groundbreaking that Gandhi once said, "Be the change that you wish to see in the world." Mr. Fuller, you are affecting the lives of so many students in the future. You are the change. We also want to thank the people and businesses who have been on some version of the Turf Committee over the many, many years. This has been a dream for a lot of people in our city, and we thank you for your service and commitment. We look forward to our continued partnership with the city. We've enjoyed our strong relationship and know that this partnership, made possible through Mr. Fuller, will be as strong as ever. Our deepest and most sincere gratitude for Fuller Field. We are very excited to make you proud as we continue on with this amazing contribution. With that, I'd say go Rams, and from the students all over there, would love to have a wonderful cheer for our amazing Mr. Fuller who made this happen.
Thank you, Kim. Next would be Patrick Warner from Sportsfield Inc., who also could not be here tonight, but we have a recording from him.
My name is Patrick Warner. I work with Sportsfield Incorporated. I want to give thanks to everybody here at Fuller Field, especially Mr. Bob Fuller, for his wonderful donation to the city of Augusta for this beautiful complex we have behind me right now. thank you all very much for giving us the opportunity to build such a great, outstanding facility for the seniors on their senior night coming up this weekend, and beyond that, for the next 15 to 25 years. So thank you very much. I also want to give thanks to Mr. Glenn at Mid-State Construction, who did all the earthwork here at this project. And I also want to give thanks to Geosurfacing, which you can see in the background, who's building that synthetic turf field right now. Beyond that, the last thing I want to do is I want to reach out to a Tyler Pease, Bruce Chase, and Mr. Earl Kingsbury. Thank you very much for being such a great trio to work with on this project. Thank you very much.
And now I'd like to introduce the Mayor of Augusta, David Rollins.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. What a great night. What a wonderful evening. And what a great celebration. 30 plus years ago, plus or minus, we were told by the city that we could no longer play our sports down at Capitol Park. And we had to move to a new facility, and this piece of land was chosen, and the work began to build a field for track and football and possibly multi other sports. And I cannot have this celebration without mentioning 3 people that picked up hammers and nails and came up here. A gentleman named Bill Goodwin, who was the sports manager, Boosters Club manager. Paul Croto, who was here earlier this evening and couldn't withstand the heat, a little bit too warm for him. And Bruce Champagne, both Bill Goodwin and Bruce Champagne are no longer with us, but Bruce did all the masonry work, Bill did all the fundraising. Paul Croto spent months, 3 months, every night, every Sunday, building this thing one nail at a time. And about 15, 16 years later, things had started falling into disrepair. I had recently joined the city council, and attending in a game one night, there were actually spectators fall through the planks of the bleachers. And I knew we had to do something. I went back and solicited the help of fellow city councilors, and from there, phase 1 of the effort you see here in front of us began. To repurpose the original alumni field, and the vision that was created had been completed now with the addition of the turf field. This happened in 2 phases, an unbelievable attempt to raise money. Phase 1, our ultimate goal was the turf field. We couldn't make that goal. This town has been so generous and so many fundraisers, from the new high school to the new library, the YMCA. People had just maxed out and given what they'd given. So we did what we did and did what we could and left some money in the till for future councils or future school board members to see what could become of the final vision. And recently, in the last 5 years, I appointed a new committee, phase 2, if you will, to try to reach that goal of getting money raised enough to have a turf field. This is not an inexpensive endeavor, and it took quite an effort. And that committee worked hard and tirelessly, and again, came up a little short. And lo and behold, the Coney God shined upon us, and a phone call from Bob Fuller to Bill Briggio, and Bill Briggio seizing the opportunity to say, hey, I know something that the community will remember you forever, the kids will benefit for generations, and it'll be such an honorarium for the Fuller family, and therefore we are here tonight. So nobody could be more proud. As I began my 16-year term as city council and mayor, and I will no longer be mayor as of December, but the bookends of my time representing this city, and I couldn't be more proud, will be the creation of the alumni field, and we have completed the task of the rebuild. We've actually completed the building of the athletic fields adjacent to the new Coney High School. And again, the community should be really excited. I love everybody turning out here tonight, and I want to dedicate this field at this time to, if you could please come up, Mr. Fuller. Apropos, Bob wants to face the kids. So, before I dedicate, I was going to give you the mic, Ed.
Good evening, all you fine county students. I'm glad so many of you turned out on this nice tropical night. I know you're all anxious to get to the beach, so I'll keep my remarks very short, and then after that, you can get back and watch the Red Sox. There you go.
I'm going to give a quick dedication, and you can have the rest of the night, okay? All right. Principal Silsby just quoted Gandhi. I'm going to quote Chevy Chase and Caddyshack. Be the ball. I dedicate this field to Bob Fuller with the most appreciation that any community could have for any donor. Thank you so much.
Mr. Hopkins thanks everybody enough, so I will not dwell on that further. How many of you were here at the football game earlier? Well, you're going to hear the same story from me tonight that I said at the football game. I was reminded of the story of late Governor John H. Reed. Governor Reed was invited by the warden of the Maine State Prison in Thomaston to come down and tour the facilities that had just been built, of which the governor was very proud. He also said to Governor Reed, "Oh, while you're here, why don't you give a brief address to the inmates?" So Governor Reed was kind of surprised by this and a bit taken aback. He was trying to figure out what to say. He didn't want to say, "My friends." He didn't want to say, "Good evening, my fellow politicians." And while he was staying on his way to the podium, it suddenly came to him. And he threw out his arms. He threw out his arms wide with his famous Fort Fairfield, Aroostook County grin and said, "I'm glad you're all here." And I am glad you're all here. So I hope Bill Bridgeo said, I said to him, "Well, what can I do for the city of Augusta, especially the kids coming through the pipeline, that will last for a while and they'll enjoy?" So Bill said to me, "I've got just the project for you." And here we are. And isn't it better for someone to give their resources to a wonderful field like this, who so many of you had a hand in, than to spend millions of dollars to put Captain Kirk in disgrace for 60 seconds. So with that, I'll take my leave, and again, thank you all for coming.
While Bob makes his way back to his seat, I want to thank you all for coming. I want to remind you, for those that don't know, Bob's a descendant of the Coney family, and it's especially extra special for him to have his name on this field forever. So again, thank you, drive safe. We'll see you at many events here in the future. Be safe.
Thank you, Coney Band.